Massey and I will be introducing inherent contempt, and Pam Bondi can be personally fined up to $10,000 every day. She's breaking the law, and she and other people at the Justice Department can be put in jail.
How would you ever be certain that the evidence wasn't destroyed? Or it hasn't been already?
Well, look, you can't be certain, but the survivors' lawyers have seen the files. That new president can do it.
They'll all be pardoned, so that will never happen.
You think he'll pardon all of them? Even the one issue that is hurting him amongst his base. So why wouldn't he just get the files out?
I don't know anybody that's not screaming at the top of their lungs, release these damn files.
The only thing that's going to get this out is the MAGA base.
What are the repercussions? Are there any repercussions? I haven't seen any politicians have any fucking repercussions, ever.
Well, there are repercussions. First of all, they thought, okay, they're going to do the release, and people are going to forget about it. They'll release a bunch of BS, and then no one's going to care. And one of the reasons that I appreciate your voice is that you're calling them on that. You're not letting them get away with it. And they were shocked. Christmas Eve, they come out and say, okay, no, we have got more documents, because they realized that their own base, the MAGA base, wasn't letting them get away with this. So they come out now in January, and they say to the judge, we've got 3 million more documents, 5 million more documents. We're going to release them in these next few weeks. And Massey and I went to the judge and said, you need to supervise this and see how these documents come out. Now, if they don't do it, there's 3 repercussions. Massey and I will be introducing inherent contempt next week, which only requires the House to pass it. And Pam Bondi can be personally fined up to $10,000 every day that the documents don't come out.
That's it?
No, that's the first. The second thing is she's breaking the law, and she and other people at the Justice Department can be put in jail. I mean, they can be prosecuted. Now, I don't think Donald Trump's going to do it, but we're going to have a new president, and that new president can do it.
They'll all be pardoned, so that will never happen.
You think he'll pardon all of them? Even
yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he?
Well, they're career Justice Department officials who, if they're along with this, I mean, he'd have to pardon a lot of people. There are hundreds of attorneys reviewing this stuff. It'd be a pretty big conspiracy if everyone is breaking the law. But yeah, I mean, look, it may be a case that it takes a new president to get all of this out, and some people get away with it. But, I'm concerned about the destruction of evidence too. I mean, making sure that the evidence is not destroyed.
How would you do that?
How would you destroy?
How would you ever be certain that the evidence wasn't destroyed, or it hasn't been already?
Well, look, you can't be certain, but the survivors' lawyers have seen the files. Some of the survivors' lawyers, so they would know if there's things missing. They're career Justice Department officials who've seen the files, and it now, if you're part of the group that are destroying these files, you're taking a big risk because you're violating the law. You could be prosecuted. I mean, it's not just people in Trump's circle. You're a career prosecutor. You're really risking your career if there's prosecution. So I do think we're going to get to the truth of the matter. Whether we're going to get accountability for Bondi and Patel, I mean, we're trying everything we can. But ultimately, if Trump pardons them, yeah, they get away with it.
I mean, let's just reverse engineer this. So you say the only thing that needs to be, maybe you didn't say the only thing. The way I took it, the main thing that needs to be redacted is 1,200 names.
Correct.
The victims' names.
Yeah.
You're a Silicon Valley guy. You mean to tell me we can't create a fucking AI program that just redacts the names in about, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Put all 3 million files in there, just blacks them out. We can't, all the people over there in Silicon Valley, Palantir, all these things, they can't figure out how to make a program that just redacts that real quick?
They could.
I'm sure.
They could.
I know I'm being a little facetious here, but
they could. No, look, I mean, obviously they want to drag their feet. They'll claim, okay, that's not enough. There needs to be human check on AI. Fine. Massey and I are less concerned about the time. If they had come back to us and said, look, you're pushing too fast on December 19th. We're going to do it by March 15th. Fine. The problem we have is they're not releasing the actual documents. They're releasing fluff. I mean, here and there they gave us something, but they're not releasing the witness memorandum. They're not releasing the Epstein files. They're protecting people. And Trump is out there himself saying, yeah, a lot of people get hurt. I don't want my buddies to get hurt. That's what I don't get. I really don't get why he doesn't just come out and get these files out. And what is the force? Like what is holding it back? There's some force more powerful than just campaign donors involved in covering this up, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why they're fighting so hard to keep these files. Like, you can say a lot of things about Donald Trump. He understands politics. You don't get elected president twice. He knows this thing is hurting him. It's the one issue that is hurting him amongst his base. So why wouldn't he just get the files out? You know? And that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying. Like, this thing was never about trying to go after Trump. And there's actually no evidence that I've seen that he was involved in the abuse of underage girls. We haven't seen any evidence of that. There are other rich and powerful men. So why, if you're the president, wouldn't you just say, okay, like, get it out there? I don't get it. There's some force bigger than that is holding back us getting to the truth. And that's what should be disturbing to Americans, other than that, like, our culture needs a moral reckoning that we allow this to happen. What are the forces that are preventing us from doing this? And are we going to get people actually willing to stand up to it?
It seems like you got a lot of people standing up to it. I mean, I don't know what else everybody can do, but everybody's screaming at. I don't know anybody that's not screaming at the top of their lungs, release these damn files, except the administration.
Invite the vice president back. Ask him. Well, he could get involved.
Oh, they're not going to come back here, Ro.
Really?
No.
He's got, but Trump may not. He wants to run. He's got to come back in 2028.
I hope he does. I would love for him to come back, but I don't know. I've been pretty hard on him lately.
Well, I just think, look, we disagree. We go back and forth, but I think he could be a constructive force here. He should be the guy saying, look, let's get these files out. Like, does he want to have this as a liability? Why?
I mean, he said it 3 years ago. I just retweeted it today.
Yeah. No, I mean, he should be out there saying, get all the stuff out there. Like, this is a new generation of politicians, Democrats like Khanna, May, Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's a previous generation that did all this horrible stuff. Expose it. The Epstein class. When Democrats have fallen, I haven't had any sympathy. First guy taken out was a British ambassador. He constructed Tony Blair's victory. The reality is Larry Summers was Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton, and is caught up in all of this. And I said that, I support if the Clintons coming and testify, fine. If it's Democrats, Republicans, I don't care. Massey doesn't care.
What was the deal with the Clintons? They were supposed to show up.
They should show up. I support Comer. That he's the Republican. He said, "Look, let's have him in front of the committee." And they're scheduling it, but I've said, yeah, they should answer what they know. Like,
so they did not refuse to show up.
They have not refused.
Okay, so that's
media
bullshit.
It's now the scheduling. Like, they need to do it soon, and we need to have. They should show up. They should do the deposition, but there shouldn't be a selective release. Like, don't have the Justice Department just put Bill Clinton's pictures in there because you want to make political headlines. Release everything. I mean, so play it straight. Massey and I have played it straight. If it's 90% Democrats in their files, I don't care. If it's 90% Republicans, I don't care. Vance should have the same thing. He's not in the files. He's in his 40s. It's a bunch of people who are now in their 70s and 80s who are caught up in all of this stuff. There needs to be a cleaning. That's why I've said this Epstein class needs to go. And I think we need, the only thing that's going to get this out is the MAGA base, because that's what got the bill passed. Trump I don't think he even realized he signed my bill. I mean, we kept saying it was a Massey bill because it was a Republican bill. I don't think he's like, I signed Khanna's bill. He didn't have a signing ceremony. Massey and I called. He didn't want to do a signing ceremony for the bill. But the point is, we had 70 Republicans willing to vote for my bill in defiance of his opposition. Then he realized, okay, I don't want that. So he said, I'll sign the bill. The only thing that'll get him to release these files is a MAGA says, look, we're with you on a lot of things. We voted for you 3 times. We disagree with Khanna on Medicare for all. We disagree with him on Venezuela. We disagree with him on calling it ICE. we're with you, Mr. President. But you know what? This MAGA stuff, this Epstein stuff, he's right about that. Release these files. That's what we need. His base needs to demand this of him.
They are, though. They are. Am I missing something? They are.
I don't think they've been vocal, not to the point where he thinks that he could lose them. I mean, he thinks, okay, they're upset on this one thing. They need to say, like, this is a red line for us because you told us there were pedophiles in part of the government. You told us there are rich and powerful people who are corrupt. You said you were going to drain the swamp. You never pretended to be a perfect person. We knew, okay, like many people, you had warts in your life, but you were going to clean up the system. You were going to expose the system. You haven't done that. Do that. That, whether it's Vance or Trump, they've got to get these files out. And they think, it's not the central issue. The cost of living is an issue. Affordability is an issue. I get all of that. But there's something deeper. There's something called morality. There's something called country's values. That's what this is getting at.
They know this is a big deal. Oh man, it makes me so fucking angry. How many abusers do you think were involved? Do you know?
I think there are three types of abusers. The ones who actually raped underage girls. I would say maybe at least a dozen or a handful. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the biggest number, but there are people from just conversations with survivors will know once the files are out. The second, people who showed up at these parties and saw young girls parading around and knew they were being abused and didn't say anything. That number is in the hundreds and covered it up. And then the third is people who were trafficking girls who were slightly overage, 19, 20, and being exploited, who may have been raped when they were underage, and saying, okay, yeah, do you have a girl for me? Where do I meet her? And technically it was over the age of consent. But anyone who looks at that will know they were abusing these girls in terms of the emotional, physical damage to these girls. And all of that is in the files.
Jeez. How long was this going on?
Decades.
20, 30 years?
20, 30 years. That's why when people, they do the gotcha question sometimes, oh, Ro, you guys didn't speak out about this enough in the Biden administration. And first of all, I did speak out in 2019, but second, I say, yeah, we should have. We were wrong. This country has been asleep. Like, that's not a reason not to care now. Now I've gotten to know these survivors. Like, yeah, all of us were guilty for 25 years, other than a few journalists, for not caring, for abandoning these girls. Fine, guilty as charged. Now let's move on. Let's actually do something about it and get these files out. And that's the honest truth. Like, this is not a Trump thing or a Vance thing. This is an America thing. It's a crisis that we didn't care about these girls. We treated them as abandoned property for the gratification of rich and powerful people.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.